take this as permission. If you have a Twitch stream or you want to use my music in one of your videos or something, this is your permission. Go ahead and use the music.
Hello, all you beautiful people out there. I am Mrs. Realistic. Welcome back to the channel. I am finally getting into Tom MacDonald, Adam Calhoun, and Dax's Black and White. I have covered a couple of the collaborations that Tom and Dax have done, which I've loved. They really work well with each other, and so add Adam to the mix. I think this is going to be fire. Without further yammering on for me, let's just get into it.
In the truck, 10 of my buddies are already drunk. We don't go nowhere that doesn't have liquor and cigarettes. Riding mechanical bulls in the club. We like to hunt, leave with a gun. Come back tomorrow, we covered in blood with a bucket of guts. We all tough for the we pop in the clutch, we ain't stuck in the mud. I'm the white boy with the baseball bat, bunch of face tattoos and a NASCAR hat in a backyard like scrapyard. Got a glass jar full of tobacco that's blacker than asphalt. Rolling with hundreds of crackers who acting like animals. They cannot handle their alcohol. We the white boys from the backwoods and the bad hoods in the trailer park trash that pack guns. When I was younger, they taught me to struggle and hustle like 200 bikers, and they were my brothers. We coming for blood and you running for cover. Addicted to drugs in the gutter and drunker than anyone. Leaving the club, we go dumber than thugs. We got mullets and putters and multiple gunners that come in Hummers. You under the rubber, you'll never recover. Chain smoking, my lungs hurt, my neck red.
Man, what do they call that? Double time? I'm learning all these new terms, y'all, because I'm old and I'm out of the loop. So trying to get in on what the young people say these days. I'm almost 50, you guys, so I got to get it where I can get it. All right, so we are highlighting stereotypes here, right? But stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. All of the things that Tom brought up here, it's not so untrue. I myself, growing up in northern Canada, in the Yukon, in the summertime, which for those of you who have never been up to Alaska or northern Canada, it's light almost 24 hours in the summertime. So we would be off in the bush having parties with pretty much everybody that we knew. It's like you're out there at 11 at night and it's literally still sunny. So yeah, we were off in the bush. Most people we knew had big trucks. You got to know how to, as he says, pop the clutch. We ain't stuck in the mud. You've got to have those guys out there who know what they're doing. For us, it was mostly that kind of stuff in the summer. And then in the winter, you know, snowmobiling. He brings up hunting. I love that line that he says, we like to hunt, leave with a gun, come back tomorrow. We covered in blood with a bucket of guts. We all tougher than F. Growing up in that kind of environment, you are pretty much tough AF because that's the way you're brought up. Your upbringing is going to be completely different than somebody from a big city. I think it's a great way to point out the differences in people's lives and how they've been brought up and how we see things so differently from other people, because my experience is going to be completely different than somebody else's experience. And so we see things through our own lenses. And I think that that plays a huge role in how we interact with other people. So let's get on to some more of this, because this is sick.
You under the rubber, you'll never recover. Chain smoking, my lungs hurt, my neck red, got sunburns, bumping Eminem, we all know the words. Bunch of white boys flipping hella birds. Hillbilly really don't care if you like them. Little bit of moonshine fire inside them. Kill him in a minute, don't care who's fighting. You don't want to trip on the kids of Vikings. Camo and mullets and cowboy hats out in public. Got ammo stashed in my cousins and cashing addicts and
good
covers.
Switch up.
They all diss and we don't listen, can't hear it no more. We gone fishing, they gone missing. I told y'all before. I be on some white people hanging out the window of a truck, yelling, I don't give a white people. Every time they see
he's like, no, I don't understand what you guys are talking about here. That's awesome.
Truck yelling, I don't give a white people. Every time they see me pulling up, they be like, oh my God, he be on some white people.
Dax is like, wait a minute, what? So they've bleeped out the SHIT, but when the album comes out, I'm sure we'll get to hear the full lyric, which it hits a little bit harder, I think, when it's not bleeped out, but we know what he's talking about.
Every time they see me pulling up, they be like, oh my God, he be on some white people. Jumping out the plane, no parachute, so I'ma get the sooner. I ain't learned from school, always ditch Ferris Bueller. Screw your little truck, my square body over.
I wonder if everybody's going to get that line. That's great. Always ditched Ferris Bueller. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And I bet you a lot of people who watch this video who are a lot younger have probably never seen that movie. So go see that movie if you haven't seen that. It's classic.
I ain't learned from school, always ditch Ferris Bueller. Screw your little truck, my square body over there's cooler. Every white boy riding with me over there. Shooters, I'm the white boy with the monster pump. Send shotgun with a pop the truck. The Northern a monster off the jump. I'm up, I rock a lots of guns. This ain't soccer, but watch them run. Shoot them in the lung, need oxygen. Pumping blood like he up and does. Talk too much till it's coughing shuns. I'm never gonna back up too much ammo. We got hammered, used to battle. Had my fights right on the gravel. Back in the day, we used to handle like men, but now we're canceled. Look at us like stage 4 cancer. Look at them like pull your pants on. Dumbass kids ain't got no answer. Look them.
That is such a good line. You know, it's true. Back in the day, people just handled their own business. Now, if you try and do anything, you get canceled. And I say that all the time. Pull up your pants. It's ridiculous. Now, I thought it was ridiculous even back when all of my friends who were skateboarders would wear their pants down below their butt and they would tie it with a shoelace. And their pants were like size 50 and they were like these skinny little 120-pound skateboarders. And I was like, why do you wear your pants like that? And they didn't really ever have an answer. They're like, oh, it's comfortable. It's not comfortable. It looks retarded. It's so stupid.
We're canceled. Look at us like stage 4 cancer. Look at them like pull your pants on. Dumbass kids ain't got no answer. Looked up to dudes with tattoos and rap music, bad moves and abuse in my past, acting stupid. I used the bad news for the gas to keep moving. I made it where I'm at. Now you rather see me losing all my.
Did you guys catch that? That was a tip of the hat to Eminem. I saw that Tom was wearing an Eminem shirt earlier. What song was that from? Do 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 do. He's got a song that sounds just like that, the same cadence, and that was really great. That was awesome. I want to hear that again. That was fire, Adam.
It's like stage 4 cancer. Look at them like pull your pants on. Dumbass kids ain't got no answer. Looked up to dudes with tattoos and rap music, bad moves and abuse in my past, acting stupid. I used the bad news for the gas to keep moving. I made it where I'm at. Now you rather see me losing. All my guys got tattoos on their face. They did the time they got jammed. What the hell's a blue check? They ain't got no Instagram. Ask around, everyone knows. They might think that I care, but I don't. I'll be out so white people hanging out the window of a truck, yelling, I don't give a white people. Every time they see me pulling up, they be like, oh my God, he be on some white people.
I just love that, how they're just broing out, you know, like, white people, and they're just slamming their head like that, and Dax is just in the back like, all right, you guys, you just wait.
They see me pulling up, they be like, oh my God, he be on some white people. Yes, segregated, but I'm still in the mix. I've been with Timer before he got canceled for speaking the truth about the world and exposing it for what it actually is. I see race as an issue.
Wait, what does he say there? Okay, wait, I gotta look that up. He just came in hard. Yeah, segregated, but I'm still in the mix. I've been effing with Tommy before he got canceled for speaking the truth about the world and exposing it for what it actually is. Okay, I didn't get that flow very good, but that's awesome because yeah, he and Tom have known each other for a while, and I don't know if it's before he was getting canceled or not. This isn't just some guy they just grabbed and they thought he's a good rapper, let's put him in our song. You know, these people all know each other and they have a relationship, and they're, you know, the color of their skin does not matter at all to these guys. And that's how I grew up, you know. None of that mattered. I grew up in a town where there were many different races of people, but I would say majority was Native Indian. None of that stuff mattered to us. We just hung out with people who we got along with. And it's also a lot different too when you're younger, you're not into politics, etc. And I would also say that social media has probably played a huge role in dividing people than we never had in our lives growing up in the 80s and the 90s. This is something, unfortunately, you know, my kids have to deal with. I think it's brainwashing a lot of people. They're creating issues.
with timer before he got canceled for speaking the truth about the world and exposing it for what it actually is. I see race as an issue, I'm running it back to the government to tell them this is a democratic, liberated, conservative, patriarchy dipped in action, affirmative hit song. Bet they still cut me a check. State that I'm in as my mind is way deeper than color. I ain't think I'm blue versus red. I'm in control, conceal that I'm carrying more than you know. One in the chamber that's ready to blow. Right at you pussies who claiming you woke. I'ma keep praying that you get exposed. I promise. I'm not abiding by rule that you set for me. I'm not that mad at the past. I mean, it was only a couple of centuries. Well, actually, I'm pissed, but won't let that be my identity. So on behalf of all blacks, I forgive and don't want to be enemies. Just say you're sorry and talk to me nice. This is comedic. If you get offended, that's a reflection of your own life and how you failed to live it right. So it's not black versus white. It's wrong versus right. Cause color is just a result of these multiple factors that we didn't choose. I mean, mom, dad, race, religion, things we're born into. Generational curses that get undone once we undo moves. See life from a different view beyond our own skews. Manipulated by the news, crude, shrewd things they use to confuse the masses. Put us in social classes, separated by percentages paid for taxes. Income brackets, clothes, cars, shoes, size of asses. I bet they're trying to blackmail me once I black out on these demographics and push past the stereotypical average and get blackballed and they cut all my traffic. Oh my God, he be on some black people hanging out the window of the...
Man, wow. He blew that out of the water. I love how he says, and he has just given us all a lesson here. I love how he says, I see race as an issue. I'm running it back to the government to tell them this is a democratic, liberated, conservative, patriarchy, dipped in action, affirmative, hit song. Bet they'll still cut me a check. State that I'm in is my mind is way deeper than color. I ain't thinking blue versus red. I'm in control. See, that is something that I think a lot of people are not in control of anymore. It's all about emotion. But he is seeing it from a realistic perspective, I think. And he, like he said, it's all skewed by what we are fed by the media. And I have watched so many really cool videos. There's this one professor who does this lecture, and it's critical thinking. And he is, I think he's pretty liberal, but he basically lays out like, look, let's look at the statistics. Let's look at this objectively. And all of the students basically just reiterate everything that they have seen on the news. And he goes, oh, well, how about this side of it? And they're like, oh, I've never heard that before, because it doesn't sell a story. If everything is like, oh, well, no, we got it pretty good now, what are they going to say on the news? They've got nothing. There's nothing to sensationalize anymore. So he is spot on. And he says, can I say I'm carrying more than you know? One in the chamber that's ready to blow. Right at you pussies who claim you woke. I'ma keep praying that you get exposed. Yes. That's awesome. I promise I'm not abiding by rules that you set for me. I'm not that mad at the past. I mean, it was only a couple centuries. Well, actually, I'm pissed, but won't let that be my identity. And that all comes back to the politics of it all, right? We keep telling people that they're oppressed, and he's like, no. I'm not going to let you set out rules for how my life is going to turn out. He is proof. He's successful, and he's speaking out about so many important things. He is not letting that narrative run his life. I think that this is so sick that these guys have gotten all together like this to do a song that I think a lot of people are going to think is controversial. But really, even though they're laying out these stereotypes of this is white people stuff, this is black people stuff, it doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter, because if we are all continuing to go by that narrative that it's us against them, it's black against white, it's red versus blue, conservative versus liberal, then it's always something versus something else, instead of us, coming together and realizing that we all are in it together. We're all in this, on this earth together. If that message was pushed, then the media, the news outlets, they'd all go out of business. So really, it's in their best interest to keep on pushing this. And I love the fact that they speak out against it, because it's true. I love how they throw in a little bit of comedy, even though it's a serious subject. It lightens the mood. Mom, dad, race, religion, things we're born into, generational curses that get done when we undo. That's a lot deeper, I think, than people realize. There are generational curses that both my husband and I have talked about. If you fix that, you are bettering your family structure and each generation to come. And that is the most important thing, because the more that we elevate our own family structure, the better people that we're creating for this world. See life from a different view, beyond our own skew, manipulated by the news, crude truth, things they use to confuse the masses, put us in social classes, separated by percentages, paid for taxes, income brackets, clothes, cars, shoes, size of asses. And it's, once again, it's all that stuff that is so meaningless. If you go on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and you see these women getting butt implants, and that's their entire account, is showing how huge their ass is, and people drooling all over it. I mean, it's so bizarre, the place that we are in now, and what is put on a pedestal, how much money you make, how many vacations your family goes on, things, stuff. None of that matters. And honestly, it makes other people feel shitty about their life as they scroll through, brainwashed, thinking about how they don't have all of these assets and asses that other people have. And then he ends off, I bet they'll try to blackmail me once I black out all these demographics. I don't know if he's using the word blackout and blackmail as puns, but this really works in this case. I bet they'll try to blackmail me once I black out all these demographics and push past the stereotypical average, then get blackballed and they cut all my traffic. Many people have been blacklisted and completely canceled and shut off because of the things that they say, even if it's true. Because, you know, we all need to be protected and we all need to be in these bubble-wrapped cocoons so that nobody has any hurt feelings, when what we really need to do is have honest conversation about what the real issues are. And people don't want to do that anymore. Debate is healthy, and in order to solve the things that are happening in the world today, debate is necessary. These guys, I think, whether they knew going into it, or whether this was something that they were like, we've got it, hook, line, and sinker, they have put out a song, and more than one song, that are going to wake people up. And if you really stop and listen to the lyrics, there's nothing racist about what any of them say. Stereotypes aren't racist. Stereotypes are just stereotypes. But if you point out a stereotype and it's negative, then you get canceled. If you point out a stereotype that's positive, then I guess it's okay. So I don't know how you want to take that. But anyway, I'm getting long-winded. So let's get back into this, because this is, I think, one of my favorite songs these guys have done.
Oh my God, he be on some black people. Hanging out the window of the trunk, screaming, I don't give a fuck. Black people. Every time they see me pulling up, they be like, oh my God, he be on some white people.
Well, that was the end, and I was long-winded right to the end. So can we also just give props to Nova, because she did some great stuff in this video. I loved how they, you know, she's doing the copies and the fire, but she knocked it out of the park once again. She's so great. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who this song will come out and Dax might get called a white supremacist. However that works. Certain terms and certain words are becoming meaningless when they actually have very serious connotations. Calling somebody a racist, to me, is something that needs to be taken seriously, because you can't just use the word racist as a blanket term for somebody that you disagree with. The term white supremacist that is being used to label people who are not white is very bizarre. Choosing to be ignorant about things and not really dig in and research and try to hear the other side. We talk about echo chambers and living in a vacuum all the time. but there's a comfort in that. So I think a lot of people don't want to break out of that and go, okay, well, let's see if maybe my mind can be changed. That would shatter their little safe space that they've been in for so long. Then they might actually be forced to change everything about themselves, everything that they've known. And I think most people probably don't want to do that. I think music like this is super important, whether you like rap or not. I mean, I've seen so many comments from people who are like, I don't even like rap, but I listen to Tom MacDonald, or I listen to Adam Calhoun, or Dax, or Mises, or all of these other artists who they would never have listened to before, but because they like the messages and they like what they're rapping about, they have started listening to it. Now, I listened to rap like crazy when I was mid-teens to early 20s. I listened to a lot of different kinds of music, but I really liked rap, and all of my metalheads, headbanger friends would make fun of me for it, but I absolutely love Eminem. I used to listen to Ice Cube. I used to listen to Old Dirty Bastard. I used to listen, I mean, the list goes on and on. I do have a love of rap. I'm not talking about the mumble rap out there that's out there now, because that's like sandpaper on my brain. I can't even listen to it. Eminem is pretty much the king of rhyme schemes. His is unmatched by most people. And I like how they paid a little bit of an homage to Eminem. I think that was pretty cool with the Eminem shirt and that flow that Adam had. I want to see more from these guys. I want to see more. I don't know what's going to be on the Brave 2 album. I'm pretty excited to hear that. I hope that Dax is in some more of this stuff. He's such a great rapper, and as I've learned, a great singer as well. Keep them coming, guys, because this is awesome. They added a little bit of humor, a little bit of fun, and then they also got into some serious topics. I think the best rapping I've heard from all of them. I hope this one is top of the charts. I love it, and if you love what I do, please give me a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm because YouTube loves to bury my stuff. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. With that, thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful day, everyone. And as I always say, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.